Here we go.
Good afternoon, YouTube's Mail Away Dress page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Folks, you know what today is? It's the first of the month. Grab your check and come on. Yes, folks, it is the 1st of July. And it's getting hot out here, folks. It's getting hot. I mean, dang. I live in the South. I don't know about any place, but we get it hot down here. But I think Arizona's a little worse. But anyway, folks, even though this is the first, but also it's the weekend for the 4th of July, 250 years of the United States. Hope you all get ready and celebrate, enjoy this upcoming holiday. Me, I'm home chilling. Like I said, I don't really have a job, so every day is a day off, a holiday for me. But we do have a show coming up. It's actually going to be Sunday in Portugal. The Mr. Big Evolution, which is in Portugal. It's been around for quite some time. And also, this promoter is one of the few promoters that still have women's bodybuilding on the lineup. Usually I've seen a lot of promoters who have, as I quote from my master, Razagul, the demon's head, he says, walk quietly behind the enemy and stab them in the heart. And we've been seeing this quite lately. But it's great to have a promoter that still gives women bodybuilding a chance, especially out of the U.S. Shout out to the promoter who runs the Imperial in Spain. And, he still gives that chance, even though we only had low numbers. And I was hoping to see some big numbers here, but we came up a little short. But we got at least 2 more than we had in Spain. We have here at least 6 ladies in women's bodybuilding. A couple ladies here are Olympic competitors. Some ladies making their bodybuilding debut. And like I said, then this is a decent lineup. We hope we have some more, but again, the cost of traveling overseas, and quite a few American parents don't want to travel too much out of the country. But again, circumstances, the cost of everything, that's how it affects it. So first off, we have the lovely Mrs. Alcino Barrito. Now, Alcino Barrito has been competing for quite some time. Actually, she was doing women's physique, then later switched over to women's bodybuilding. Got her first women's bodybuilding qualification for the Olympia back in 2022 here in Portugal. Now, she also won it last year, so she's coming back to get a shot to go back to the Olympia. She's top 5 in the world at the Olympia in women's bodybuilding. But as you know, you have to qualify if you're not in the top 3. President lady, as you know, she was going to do Imperial last month, but circumstances happened in her family, so she decided to take a step back and decided to come back and do Spain to defend her title. Next up we have is one Miss Parisa J. Now her name is German and very long, and I don't want to chop it up by pronouncing it. But this is going to be her pro debut. She actually, from what information I got of her, she turned pro last year in women's physique, and she's making her bodybuilding debut in women's bodybuilding. So that's great. We're seeing more ladies who want to step up. You just heard Sarah, Bradley's moving over to women's bodybuilding. We need more of that. The more women who come to this division, the more we have activity. But thank you for her jumping in the show. I hope she does well. Next up we have is Anastasia Levanova. Now, she's been competing for quite some time. Actually, she made her bodybuilding debut at this show, and she won it. She's not have yet been to Olympia. She has at least 2 Olympic qualifications in the belt. Last time she won the show back in 2024, took a break in 2025. Alcyon beat her to the title back, I think, in 2023, I believe. So, and she took second to Martina Lopez at the Imperial in Spain. So let's see how she does. I think it's going to be possibly a close battle between her and Alcyon for his title. Next up, we have one Vanessa Santana. Vanessa is from Spain, and she actually was competing in women's physique for a good bit. She last competed in the Imperial in Germany. Now she's switching over to women's bodybuilding, and that's great. We're seeing more women physique competitors moving up. We do need the numbers, especially overseas, where there are so few shows and so few opportunities for bodybuilders to compete. Next up we have is Olympian who got her qualification back in 2024 after she switched over from women's physique to women's bodybuilding. That is Abida Opre, and she's from Hungary. She just competed last month at the Toronto Super Show. She was in the top 5. Personally, Christopher physique. I've seen she has great muscle density. This possibly might be a chance that she might get Olympic qualification show, or she might do another show. As you know, she got her first qualification at the Lena Popa show back in 2024. She might do that show again. Just hoping that Alcyon doesn't do it. So, cross your fingers. So I hope she does well. And next up we have women's Haggett Seb Delis. If I got her name wrong, I apologize. She's originally from Israel. Now, Haggett was one of 4 ladies that competed at the Imperial for women's bodybuilding just last month. She was number 3. So that means somebody be number 4. Impressive lady. She actually was with Zeke for a good bit. Then we switch over to women's bodybuilding. Again, that's where we need more ladies to step up. She also works as a promoter back in her home country of Israel. So let's see how she does. She took the top 3 at the Imperial, but it was only 4 women. But you know what? Circumstances may happen. Now here's the list for women's physique. And again, kind of a small lineup. But again, not as many competitors, and the cost and training like that. Some ladies who did the Imperial didn't want to do any more shows because, again, you got to think about you got to travel from show to show. But like I said, there's some ladies here, impressive ladies. A couple ladies who are, one lady here is Olympia competitor. One just got Olympia qualification. But one lady at the very top is, I would say, a dear friend of mine. And she actually made a return back to women's physique this year. That is Jada Beverly. Jada's been in the game for quite some time. Turned pro back in 2019. Was competing with physique for a good bit. Then switched over to women's bodybuilding in 2021. After that, she was doing some issues. She had to take a step back, came back, competing with physique, and then she decided to move over to wellness. Then to do too well in wellness, then she decided to come back to women's physique. That's a lot. But Jada's a impressive lady. Great physique, great definition. It was a close call. There were some issues, and she might not make the show, but she did. She made it. So I wish her best of luck. Next up we have is Julia Cabalcos. If I get anything wrong, I want to apologize. She's from Spain. Julia actually turned pro last year. She did the Portugal Masters Pro, where I think she was in the top 3 at that show. Then she decided to do this show in her own backyard, where she's now qualified for her first Olympia in her own home country of Spain. Personally, crazy physique. I've been talking about social media. I speak little to no Spanish. She speaks little to no English, but we try to talk to each other through translation. But I think most definitely she's coming in as the top contender for this show. Next up we have is Anna. And Anna's from Italy. And she's been competing for quite a bit. I think she last competed in 2024. And so this is the first show for her in the season. Next up is Sylvia Martinez. Now, Miss Martinez has been competing for a good bit. She competed back, I think, in 2024, took a break. After that, took a couple years off, and she returned in her home country of Spain at the Imperial. I felt this lady could be WPD. No, not WPD. Wrong. Women's bodybuilding. She has put on some amazing muscle density, good amount of size. Maybe just take a little push and maybe jump over. We can use the bodies. And I think she has an amazing body. And, I hope to see more of her in the future. Next up we have here is an Olympian. 2-time Olympian. That's Linka Furkova from Czech Republic. Now, Linka's been in the game for quite some time. She last competed in 2025, didn't get a qualification. Amazing lady, great physique, killer arms. I'm a fan of hers. Great physique overall. I saw her did an interview with my man AJ over at the for the Female Body Channel, where he's over there because he's over there checking out the show. How's she gonna place? Probably pretty well. She might be an Olympian. She might even get in the top 5. With this show, it's gonna be tough. Like I said again, Juliet's very impressive. Next up we have is Yasmin G from France, and her story was she got into bodybuilding because she was overweight. She lost weight, has a great set of abs. She turned a pro last year. I think it was here in Imperial. She got actually at the Portugal Pro, which Portugal is also a pro qualifier. And she made a pro debut later on in the year. So this is going to be her second show for this year. And I hope she does well. Next up we have is Paola. And I believe this is going to be her pro debut. And last we have is Martina Patek. If I got a name wrong, I apologize. She's from Poland. Now this was her pro debut. She did the Imperial. And then she was in the top 5 at that show. And she has very impressive physique. Something else very impressive too, if you look at it, I'm looking at it. So I think she would do well. So, I hope she, maybe in the future you might see her do some more shows and maybe eventually get Olympic qualification. Now we have here the list for figure. And I'm not going to go too deep in it because many of these competitors, they have a lot of foreign names. Many of them don't recognize, but the ones I do recognize, I will speak on. Now, first up, we have is one with Cristina Araujo from Spain. And this is going to be I think her 3rd show for the season. She actually competed where she made a pro debut at the Spain Pro Masters. And I think she won for figure, which is qualified for next year's Master O. Next up, we have is Bahar Araya. I got a name wrong, I apologize, from Germany. Now, she was busy. She did 2 shows last year. She did both the Toronto Super Show, where she was in the top 3, and also the Body B1, where she also was in the top 3. Impressive lady, multi-time Olympian. I actually saw her do an interview with her man AJ also over there, and she speaks pretty good English, so I might reach out for an interview. I think she saw some of my posts and she liked it. Next up we have here is Anastasia Hazava, and she's from Poland. This was her pro debut, and she did the Imperial, and I think she was in the top 5 at the show, so wish her best of luck. Next up we have is Taylor Jocelyn, and Taylor's from the UK, and she just turned pro just maybe like a couple of months ago, and this is going to be her pro debut. Impressive physique, impressive body. I feel like she might have aesthetics closer to maybe WPD, but you never know. It takes the time to grow. Next up we have Anna Kochkar, and she's from Romania. She's been competing for quite some time. She was in the top 5 at the Imperial. So, she might also place very well here in Portugal. Next up is a lady who's been a guest before. You might know her better as Madeline Laveau, but she's on the list. She's Tracy Miller. And your lovely Madeline Laveau has been a guest on my channel. Great physique. She's been in both, has been very busy. Last year, she did at least 3 shows. She was in the Masters Olympia. She did a show in Florida, and also she was the Max Fit. I think she won the over 40 class, which qualified for next year's Master O. Impressive physique, great look to her, beautiful chocolate sister. I wish her all the best. Next up we have is Andrea Drovakova from Slovakia, and been busy lady. This is, I believe, her 9th show in the year. She did early in the year. She did the Triple O. She did Tampa. She did a show in Georgia. She did a show in Oklahoma. She did a show in Georgia. She did a show in Oklahoma. She also was top 3 at both the Toronto Super Show and the Better Be Body 1 Classic. This is at least 9 shows, and she took 2nd place in some of those shows. I think judges telling something. Either she's better off competing in Europe, or just that her look is very, I don't know, not fitting the criteria. I don't know what's going on. But she's been a multi-time Olympian, so she's trying to get another shot to go back to the Olympia. And we have here a lovely lady who I've been following for a bit, Laura Ortolan, and she's from Italy. And this chick, her body's just crazy. Her shoulders, her development. I think maybe the issue with her is maybe just her condition might be something, but she looks great. She was 7th at the Imperial. And I think with the right show, right circumstances, and bringing in better conditioning, she might eventually get her Olympic qualification. She, to me, fits the criteria of what figure is, especially go back to the day, like you go back to, I think Nicole Branch is one day I often hear about. I think she's right there with them. Maybe you look past Cindy Gillen. And next up we have is Nina Polos, and she is from Germany. And Nina was number 2 at the Imperial. She was close. I think it was a few points between her and Vanessa Habel for Olympic qualification. Impressive lady. She did a couple of shows this year, and now she's trying to get an opportunity to get to the Olympia. I think it's going to be her first Olympia, I believe. But you know what? Possibly when she brings the same kind of conditioning shape she did for Spain, she might get it here in Portugal. Now, the show is going to be very early in the morning because, Portugal is about 5-6 hours ahead of the United States, 5-6 hours of me on the Eastern Standard Time, and depending on other time zones, it's going to be a lot earlier. But I'm not going to watch it because, like I said, money's getting a little tight, and there's another show coming up I might want to watch. But if you want to check it out and you want to support it, if you want to, you may not want to watch the prejudging, but you can catch the finals later. But I will leave a link in the description. You want to check it out. Support these ladies. Support this promoter who's giving women's bodybuilding still a shot. One thing you got to check out, he does the podium. It's like a spinning podium, and it's just something beautiful to see. I remember one time they had 4 competitors, and it was women bodybuilding. They was playing the theme song from The Godfather. That was just so beautiful. But check out, support this promoter, support this show, support these ladies. Shout out to Tracy and also to Jada. Best of luck to you because there are only 1 or 2 American ladies that's competing at this show. Maybe we wish more ladies can do, but the thing is, it costs a lot. You have to have a passport, everything, and the expense of going to another country and all those stuff. But shout out to ladies. Best of luck in Portugal, and have a happy, as upcoming 4th of July. And this man always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I'm out.